There is some downsides to bulking that nobody has ever really talked about, and in this video, I'm going to be covering them through my experience and what I have learned through the last 6 months of bulking or so. In the last year, I've put on 10 kilos, most of that being muscle, so I have some form of understanding about the good and bad sides of what bulking is. The first downside about bulking is you'll notice that your face gets a lot fatter. You can see here that my face is a little bit fatter than if you were to look at some videos of me from years ago. But that is mainly because I have more fat in me because I've been bulking, and yes, it's been a mainly clean bulk, but you're still going to put on fat when you're bulking. So I've just put on a little bit of fat on my face. I'm not too happy with it because when you look at yourself every day in the mirror, you start to notice these little things. But most people won't notice that themselves. So I think that is something which you shouldn't really care too much about, but it is a downside. And you will most likely notice that when you're bulking. Another downside to bulking is you'll notice that all areas of your body will be a little bit fatter. I've always had a very, very slim physique, and definitely in my stomach, I've noticed that I've put a little bit of like tubber there. There's a little bit of timber in that area, but that's fine considering I am bulking and I have put on 10 kilos. And this time next year, I want to put on another 10 kilos, so I'll be 20 kilos heavier than what I was just a year ago. And through that, you will have fat in these areas before you come to end up cutting. So that is something you need to understand that you're going to have to live with, because you're going to have all of these other benefits that everyone knows about. You have more energy, it's easier to get stronger, you put on weight, meaning that when you cut, you're going to have a better physique, and things like that are important to think about. So yes, this is a big downside. Oh, you're not going to look as good now. There's a guy called Joe Fazer, I believe his name is, and a few years ago, his physique was really good, but he was he was a little bit more chubby, and you could see that. But then the second he cut, he looked incredible. And that's something about trusting the process. The downside is you're not going to look too great now, but in 2 years' time, when you've cut and you've cut all of that fat off of you, you're going to be chiseled. And that's something you have to understand and something you have to take on the chin. And everything will be good. The third downside to bulking is mainly for people who do calisthenics, body weighted exercises, is it becomes harder. If you're not training in the gym, then you doing bodyweight exercises will be your go-to, and it becomes much harder the heavier you are. I remember about a year ago, I was about 65 less than a year ago. Around Christmas time, I was about 65 kilos, or 65 to 68. It doesn't matter. But I could do probably about 70 to 80 push-ups in one go. And now I am about 73 kilos. So 68, 73 kilos, but those movements that I used to do have become much harder. So I've gone from being able to do 60 to 70 push-ups easily to 40, 50 push-ups. And yes, my muscles are bigger. Yes, I'm just much stronger in general, but I'm much heavier, so it's harder to push myself in relation to that, because I do have more fat than I did before, and not every kilo you put on in weight will be muscle. So that's just something you have to understand as well. But those are things that, yes, they're all downsides, and everything I'm explaining today is a downside, but bulking is good. If you're skinny fat, you're like 68, 70 kilos, you're trying to start the gym, bulk, get to like 80 kilos, but clean bulking, do it in a clean way. And then when you cut, you could cut all the way down to 70 kilos if you really wanted to, and you're going to have a good benefit because your muscle will show, and you'll no longer be skinny fat, you'll be muscly. That is the downsides I wanted to share with you guys today, because I think it's important that you understand that if you're going to be bulking, there will be downsides to it if you're trying to put on weight. there will be downsides to that, but it's all part of the process, and you need to remember that as well. These downsides are something that I didn't even hear about. No one ever talks about these things, but I want to talk about it to you guys, so when you decide to bulk, you're not surprised when these things do happen. Maybe it's because it's obvious, or maybe it's because people sell you the dream of you can eat pizzas and you can drink fizzy drinks and you can do all of these things. You can eat sweets and that can be all you eat when you bulk and you'll be great. But not all calories are the same. If you ate 1,000 calories of meat, beef, and then you had 1,000 calories of sweets, there's a huge difference in the benefit you will get. Obviously, the quantity is different, but there is a huge difference in the benefit you will receive from eating the sweets in comparison to the meat, or the vegetables, or the clean carbs like a potato. And by eating clean, you enable yourself to have the best possible bulk. It's harder, but it's so much better. Hopefully I've shared some good information for you all. For those of you who are looking to lose weight, I'm not your guy to be watching, because I'm a skinny kid and I can't help you lose weight. I can help you, I can tell you what to do, because it's quite quote unquote obvious. We all know what to do. But I've not experienced a losing weight process, so I don't have experience in what to expect when you're going through that. Much love to all of you. This has been quite fun to make. I quite like this video. Yeah, a video right here for more help. Make sure to subscribe as well. Turn on post notifications. I would be grateful for that. Much love.